saying that the topic of calendars is very important for any logical reasoning aptitude test. Okay, you will definitely see a question based on calendars. Okay, and moreover, it's very interesting. You have logical questions out here and something which you can also ask to your friends. Like it's simply based on common sense. Okay, so now first of all, let's look into the type of years, because ultimately calendars are based on dates, months and years, right? So what are types of years? There are two types of years, ordinary year and leap year. Ordinary year, we also call it as a non-leap year. It contains 365 days. And then there's a leap year, which contains 366 days. We get an extra day in the leap year in the form of 29th February, right? So now the very next question comes up is how to identify that a given year is a leap year or not. Okay, so how to identify a leap year? So guys, for this, what I have done is I have divided all the given years into two categories. One is century years, right? Now you must be familiar with the word century. In cricket, if anyone scores 100, we say that he or she has scored a century, right? So years which are multiple of 100, like 100, 200, 300, etc., are called as century years. Okay. So if I give you any century year, and if I ask you that, tell me if it is a leap year or not. So in that case, you need to divide the given century year by 400. Okay. And if it is divisible by 400, then it is a leap year. Else it is not. Okay. For every other year, for every other non-century year, you will simply divide it by 4. Okay. If it is divisible by 4, then it's a leap year, else it is not. Okay. Now the reason why I have divided into century years and non-century years is because what I have observed is a lot of students, they think that all the years which are divisible by 4 are called as century years. But that is not the case. Like 100, 200 and 300. These years are non-leap years. But when I talk about 400, it is a leap year. Similarly, 500, 600, 700 are non-leap years. But when I talk about 800, it is a leap year. Okay. So you can go for like for every century year, just check if it is divisible by 400 or not. But when it comes to a non-century year, you can just divide it by 4. And if it is divisible by 4, then it is a leap year. And guys, if you remember, in number system, we learned the rule of the divisibility rule of 4 actually. Do you remember the divisibility rule of 4? See, this was the first slide. This was the second slide. The second slide had only contents. What are the contents? Types of years, concept of odd days, finding the day of a particular date with reference to another day or without any reference, and lastly, repetition of calendar. So this was the actual first PPT. I started from this part only. Okay. So the divisibility rule of 4 was that the last 2 digits of any number should be divisible by 4. If it is divisible by 4, then it is a leap year, else it is, the given number is divisible by 4, right? So here are some questions for you. Quickly tell me which of the following are leap years. Just tell me the option, okay? Which of the following are leap years? And what is the condition? You remember the condition? For century years divided by 400, for every other year divided by 4. Tell me all the options. There is not only a single option out there. Okay. There can be multiple options. I want you guys to tell me all the options in one answer. Parvez, Baji, Shivam, Suryadev, Radhana, Yogender, they have almost correct. Everyone is getting one wrong in most of the cases. From the given 8 years, the question is to find out how many of them are leap years. Okay, So let's quickly look into the solution now. So guys, out of these 8 options, I can see that option C, option F, and option G, they are century years. So for century year, I will divide it by 400. Now, is 2000 divisible by 400? Yes. But if is 1900 or 100 divisible by 400? No. So from option C, F, and G, option C is a leap year. Now coming to the remaining options A, B, D, E, and H. In all these cases, we will divide it by 4. So I can very well see that option B is divisible by 4. Option E is divisible by 4, right? So finally, my answer will be option B, option C, and option E. Guys, option D is not a leap year because 2018, the last 2 digits is 18. Now 18 is not divisible by 4. That is why it is not a leap year. Okay. So here's the solution for you. Option B, C, and E are leap years, while all the remaining are non-leap years. Okay. Now, then comes the concept of odd days. So guys, this entire chapter is actually based on the concept of odd days. If you are very well clear with this concept, then you can solve the actual questions of calendars without much effort. So this is very important. Please make it clear. If you have any questions in this concept, do ask me at this point itself. Okay. Now, odd days, the number of days left after making complete weeks in a given period of time are called odd days. So if I give you any period of time, let's say example, in a period of 50 days, how many odd days are there? So in that case, in this period of 50 days, I need to take out complete weeks. How many complete weeks can we have in 50 days? We can have 7 complete weeks because a week is of 7 days, right? So 50 days can be broken down into 7 complete weeks plus 1 day. So in the period of 50 days, the number of odd days becomes 1, right? Or you can simply say that if I give you any period of days, if I give you any number of days and I ask you to tell me the number of odd days, you will simply divide that number by 7 and whatever remainder comes will be the number of odd days. Okay. So since we are dividing number by 7, so the remainder can be from 2 to 6, right? And that is why the number of odd days will always lie between 0 to 6. Okay. Is this clear, guys? Is it clear till this part? Simply, in any given period of days, the days left after making complete weeks are called odd days. Okay. Shivam is asking why. Shivam will look into this term, why it has been invented, how it helps us in the questions. As of now, just like try to figure out what is the definition is used. Okay. Acha, you meant yes. Okay. Counting of odd days. So guys, let's look into certain scenarios where you need to remember the number of odd days. If I talk about one ordinary year, now ordinary year contains 365 days. Okay, we just I just want you guys to understand the concept of odd days. What are odd days? In any given period of time, whatever the number of days are left after making complete weeks are called odd days. Okay. Example, if I simply give you a period of 50 days, then the number of odd days will be equal to 1 because 50 days can be broken down into 7 complete weeks and 1 extra day. Okay. So after taking out complete weeks, whatever remaining days are there will be equal to the number of odd days. Okay. Like if I give you a period of, let's say 90 days, so from 90 days, how many complete weeks can we draw out? We can draw out a total of 12 complete weeks because 12 sevens are 84. So 90 days, I can take out 12 complete weeks, and we will be left with 6 days, right? These 6 days we will not be able to form a week. So in a period of 90 days, the number of odd days becomes 6. Okay, only you need to remember till this is the simple concept of odd days. Okay, is it clear now? Okay, great. So moving ahead, so let's look into certain cases, how to find out the number of odd days. If I ask you what is the number of odd days in an ordinary year, so you know that in an ordinary year we have 365 days. Now 365 days is equal to 52 weeks plus 1 day. So I can say that one ordinary year will have one odd day, right? Similarly, if I talk about one leap year, it has 366 days. Now 366 can be broken down into 52 complete weeks plus 2 extra days. So one leap year has 2 odd days, right? Now coming to 100 years. So in this 100 years, I am considering the first 100 years of our calendar. Okay, the first 100. It means from 0001 to 000. The first 100 years of our calendar. Now in that 100 years, first of all, guys, tell me in the first 100 years, how many leap years will be there? In the first 100 years, how many leap years will be there? In the first 100 years, how many leap years will be there? Generally, I get the answer as either 24 or 25. Don't look into my screen. It's already visible there, but I want to see if anyone is getting 25 as the answer. Okay. Okay, now listen. Generally, what people do is they divide 100 by 4, they get the quotient as 25. So they think that there are 25 leap years. But if I talk about the very starting period, the first 100 years of our calendar, fourth year will be a leap year. Then the next leap year will be the 8th year. Then 12th, 16, 20, likewise, it will go on till 88, 92, 96, then comes 100. But 100 is not a leap year, right? So we will not have a total of 25 leap years in first 100 years. We will have 24 leap years. Okay, why 24? Because uh, the last year, the 100 year, is not a leap year. Is it clear, guys? So that is why in 100 years we have 76 ordinary years and 24 leap years. We have 76 ordinary years plus 24 leap years. So now try to look into the steps how we have calculated the number of odd days in 100 years. You know that one ordinary year will give me one odd day and one leap year will give me two odd days. So if I get some period of years, let's say 100 years, 200 years, so what I will do is I will break it into ordinary years and leap years. So in this period of 100 years, you can see that we will have 24 leap years and the remaining 76 years will be ordinary years. Now each of these 76 ordinary years will give me one odd day. So the total number of odd days from here will be 76 into 1. And the remaining 24 leap years will give me, like each leap year will give me 2 odd days. So these 24 years will give me 24 into 2, 48 odd days. Now when you add 76 with 48, you get 124. So now, as I told you in the last slide, that the number of odd days will always lie between 0 to 6. Okay, so since 124 is greater than 7, so we are going to divide 127 by we are going to divide 124 by 7. Okay. Now when you divide 124 by 7, you get a remainder of 4. Okay.